What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Dudes Who Bet Daily. I am your host, Aaron Halterman. I've got Magic. I've got Papa Dude. Everybody's here. Papa Dude, Magic's in a real good mood, I feel like. Do you agree?
I wish people could hear our comments before we go on the show. I think it's better than the show, actually. Some of the
I
stuff.
agree.
It was really weird this morning. It was kind of bizarre whenever I came on anyway. I don't know what you guys have been dealing with before I got here. But anyway,
yeah. We saved that for our OnlyFans account. You gotta sign up for OnlyFans. You can get that stuff.
Yeah. It's a great idea. Well, look, we got a busy day. We got a busy show. We got 4 shows on the channel today. This is the first one. We'll have Dudes Who Bet Sports right after this one. Blinkers Off right after Dudes Who Bet Sports, and then Magic Mite right after Blinkers Off. So it's almost like we have our own channel for back-to-back shows. We just need some advertising in between them, and we'll be good. But let's get going with this. Let's get going. Thursday night game, week 2 of the NFL officially kicks off on tonight in Philadelphia. Papa Dude, this line's moved. The Eagles were -7.5. Then they were -7. Now they're -6. So the line is definitely moving. What do you think about this game tonight?
Well, I went 5-11 last week picking these games, just picking winners. So I don't know why you're asking me. The NFL, I can't figure out for a long. It takes me 3 or 4 games before you know. When I first glanced at it, I thought, okay. When I first glanced, it was 6.5, and I thought, okay, the Eagles should cover that. Then I got to digging into the games from last week, and the Eagles probably shouldn't have won against New England. They were not impressive at all. They only had like 200 and some yards of total offense, which isn't good. Yeah. Hurts seemed to be a little bit conservative. Careful, whatever, when he ran the ball, which isn't good. He can't be that way. And then the Vikings just didn't protect Cousins very well at all against Tampa. I look for a really good effort out of the Vikings tonight. I do. I think they're going to play well. I can't pick this game at all because I don't know. I don't. If I was going to pick, the total I don't like very well. There's nothing I like on the line at all. I can't pick the Eagles to cover, though. I'm not sure they cover 6 points. I think they're going to win, but I'm not sure they're going to cover 6 points.
Magic, what do you think about this game? This is I kind of agree with a lot of what Papa Dude said there, but what do you think?
I like the Vikings to cover as well. I think the Eagles can win, but the Vikings will cover it. There's kind of that narrative of Kirk Cousins in primetime not being good, but he's actually 8-8 against the spread. As far as getting the wins and losses, yeah, he's not the best when it comes to primetime games, but 8-8 against the spread. Philly could be down 2 starting defensive backs, which I think is a problem when you face a veteran quarterback like Kirk Cousins. So, Mac Jones threw for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. He looked pretty fantastic against them, especially in the second half. So, I will take the Vikings here. Do you want to talk about my best bet now? Because it is in this game.
Well, no, let's save it. Let's save it for the end. Yeah,
we'll tease it then. All
right. I appreciate the thought. I think it was a good thought, Magic. I don't want to shut you down. I think that was a good idea, but we'll save it for the end. I'll jump in and totally jinx the Vikings here because I'm going to take the Vikings. I actually got them at 7.5 early in the week. My deal is with week 1 of the NFL, you just cannot overreact, right? And I watched every second of this game that JL's talking about where Tampa Bay went into Minnesota and beat the Vikings. My reply is big deal. Week 1 to week 2, it's just the weirdest stuff that'll happen. I guarantee you the Vikings will play better tonight. I can't guarantee they're going to cover. I guarantee you they will play a lot better tonight. So I think they'll come in. I think they'll play a really good game. I think the Eagles are going to win the game. I think the Vikings are going to cover. So give me the Vikings. I had them at +7.5, +6. Becomes a little bit tricky. I think I would still probably take them, but not near as confident there. So that's just kind of my take. I'm not going to overreact. The Vikings were bad. There's no doubt about it. I'm not arguing that one bit. That was an awful performance by them. So, all right, let's go on. Let's go to a couple baseball games before we get to the race of the day. This NL wildcard race and the AL wildcard race for that matter, but the NL wildcard race, is incredible right now. The Reds and the Diamondbacks enter today tied for the last spot with the San Francisco Giants and the Miami Marlins just a half game behind them. So 4 teams separated by a half game trying to get one spot. The Cubs are only 2 games ahead of those teams. So if you wanted to add 5 teams within 2 games of each other, you could say that. Papa Dude, Reds, Tigers. Reds have won 2 here. Tigers are the favorite this afternoon. What do you think about this game?
You can add the Phillies to that list too.
They're not that far ahead of the Cubs now.
That's
correct.
right.
Yep.
If the Cubs could beat the terrible Rockies the last 2 nights, they'd be within a game, I think, of the Phillies for that first wild card spot. But they've lost 2 in a row to the Rockies. Very proud of Cincinnati the last 2 nights. They've gutted those 2 games out. Had them picked on a bet on Tuesday night. Mm-hmm. That's the one that went in the extra innings, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I just knew they were going to lose that game, and that was a toughie, and they pulled it out last night, 4-3 for a long time in that game, and held in there and won it.
They used 8 pitchers in that game last night.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the pitching matchup today does not favor them very well. This is okay. I'm going to make a statement here. I think if they win this game today, they might make it. I think it's that big a game. They need to beat the Tigers, even though Detroit is pesky. They play hard. They're hard to beat. They really are. They're just not quite there yet. I think they're getting better. I can't pick the Tigers as a favorite. I just can't. But I don't know that the Reds win this game, but this is huge for them. They need to get 3 out of 4 from Detroit. These are the teams they've got to beat to make the playoffs. So I think it's a huge game for the Reds.
Yeah, I went with the Reds because of a lot of what you're saying. It's just the motivation factor there for the Reds. This Reds team is not what they were in June, and late May, June, early July. It's just not. They are scrappy. That's about all you can say about them. They are absolutely struggling to get wins, but somehow they're getting enough. There's, they haven't fell completely off where it's like, oh man, they've lost 8 in a row. Like they just are scrappy, hang in there and win. Magic, what do you think about this game?
Well, this is a tough one because we had the love for the Reds from earlier this season and for so long, but you're right, it's been hard to back them here. I think if you want to play the Tigers here, a good way to do it would be a first 5 angle. You can get them at it's plus. I just lost it. Where is it? Minus half a run for the Tigers is plus 114. The Reds are going to be probably having a bullpen game. Law's getting the start, and he's out of the bullpen. This will be his 49th appearance, first start of the year. So, if you want to play the Tigers, I would feel safer going that way because Reese Olson's been playing very fantastic for them lately. Against he has 2 starts back. Against the Yankees, he struck out 10 batters, and then he had 7 scoreless innings against the White Sox back in September. In that spot, they won 10-0. And then last out, he just had no run support. He had a no-hitter into the 7th and ended up getting the loss, but he just didn't have any run support that game. So Reese Olson pitching well for the Tigers. That's the way I would play it.
Yeah, the pitching matchup's going to be tough. Like I said, the Reds used 8 pitchers last night. They might have to do that again today. Now, the good news is the bullpen, they only pitched half an inning here or a third of an inning here, 2/3 of an inning here. So, I mean, they're rested somewhat, but they're going to have a lot of guys pitching, on back-to-back nights.
Should have traded for JP Sears. Should have listened to me. He's playing his ass off.
They have so many injuries on the pitching staff too. Like JP Sears would look amazing in red right now. Let me tell you. But
didn't their starting pitchers have COVID problems as well?
They had 2 starting pitchers that had COVID problems. Then Graham Ashcraft has a little bit of an injury. He's trying to get over. These pitchers are slowly coming back from the COVID. It's a mess. Their rotation the last 3 times around has just been a nightmare. So that's what I'm saying. This is not that Reds team that was hot and crisp and playing great. They've had injuries. They've got problems. They somehow are staying in it. Hopefully they can get another one today. We'll see what happens. All right. The American League East is getting tighter. The Tampa Bay Rays only 2 games behind the Orioles. They start a 3-game set tonight in Baltimore. Tampa goes to Baltimore here, trying to get back on top. I mean, these teams are going to make the playoffs because whoever doesn't win this division is going to be the first wild card. Papa Dude, Baltimore minus 135 here, total 8.5. Where are you leaning in this one?
Yeah, I like the Orioles tonight in this one, even though I am so mad at them. Had them in a parlay last night on the best page against the Cardinals. Okay, okay. The game was 1-0. They got beat 1-0 to the Cardinals.
Yep.
To the Cardinals. To somebody named CD-ROM.
Yeah.
And it's, one, that's not his first name, Magic. I was kind of a little joke there. I think it bounced over your head.
That was a magic joke.
Yeah, it was.
No, that's why I did that. I was like, that was a me joke. All right.
I mean, what would you have bet that the Orioles wouldn't score a run last night? What would you have bet if they hold the Cardinals to 1 that they would lose the game?
Yeah, I know.
That could only happen to me. I think they had 2 hits.
I didn't know you had that bet, but I was watching because I watch all the baseball games, whether it's on TV or on my phone. I kept thinking, how is that still 1-0?
I don't know, and I kept waiting for them to score, and they never did. But they're consistently pretty good, and I like them in this game tonight. I've been cashing a lot of these -135, -130. It's better than losing a +135, in my opinion. So I'm not willing to bet that on this game, though, because the Tampa they're scrappy, and they may go in there and beat them. So I look at the 135s on a game where I feel a little bit more comfortable betting them. I don't feel comfortable betting against Tampa. Let's put it that way. But I do think
Go ahead.
No, I do like the Orioles tonight.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I was going to give you your props. I will say, if you're looking at a -120, let's say, to -150 team, I don't think there's anybody better right now than you at picking those out. I mean, you look at the best bets that he puts out every day. They're hitting like crazy. So you've done a good job. So you're picking the Baltimore, but this is not one that you feel extra confident.
No, I don't feel good. No, like I've been hitting Atlanta.
Right.
At 120, 125, 130. I can't pass that up. I just can't,
You've been really good at identifying those type of games for sure over the last month, really. All right. Magic, what do you think about this game?
I got a prop bet for you, Papa Dude. I think you might like if you like the Orioles a little bit here because of their hitting. Gunnar Henderson's on a 6-game hitting streak. 3 of those games, he's gone for at least 2 hits. You can get over 1.5 hits plus 110 on him right now. He's batting .316 in September, which is 7th most in the major leagues right now, and 6 multi-hit outings in his last 12 games. So he's pretty hot right now. So if you wanted to do a plus money bet for the Orioles because of their hitting prowess that you like, Gunnar Henderson over 1.5 plus 110.
Now, one of those games the SOB didn't get 2 hits was last night.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Correct.
So he's due, is what you're saying.
That's right.
Due.
That's a great bet.
Baseball is extremely frustrating because when you play a game like that, you think, "Oh, they'll beat them," and then like I had Seattle in a parlay to end one of the nights, and they lost to the Angels. And they lost in extra innings. They got ahead 3-0, and so I've got them in a parlay with the Cubs. The Cubs won. They're plus 130. It's 3-0 before I even turn on the TV to watch it. And then they ended up losing to the Angels at home in Seattle, 8-5 in 11 innings. And it's like, God, I hate that. But anyway,
one more thing. I got real quick. The other night I had the Yankees. I don't even know. I can't remember who they're playing. They got no hit for 10 innings.
Yep.
And in the bottom of the 10th, you get the stupid rule where you put that runner on second base.
Yep.
Okay, so they got him to third on a ground out. They could have get a sacrifice fly and won the freaking game 1-0 and not had a hit for 10 innings.
It was the Brewers. They were playing the Brewers.
Okay. They ended up winning. I think it ended up 3-2, something like that.
I think they did end up winning that game. Yeah,
it was 4-3. I think is what it was, and went 13 innings.
Yeah,
I think they had 3 hits the whole game.
Yep.
I was sitting there going, oh, my God. And of course, here's the Brewers pitcher going along there with a no-hitter, and they take him out.
Right. No, it was, that was an interesting game, too. I was head on that.
Oh, I was so mad at the Yankees. I said, God almighty.
I'm going to take the Rays. I'll take the Rays in the spot with the plus money. I like the pitching matchup for the Rays tonight, so I'll take them plus money here. I think Baltimore's going to win the series. I think the Rays get the first game, though. So I'm going to go Tampa Bay with the plus money. All right, let's get to Belmont at the Big A. That's right. The awkward meet is back. I don't know if people are excited or not. I don't know. for as dumb as like the name is and everything like that, this was a pretty good meet last year. I hope it's a pretty good meet again this year. The fields look pretty solid. I don't know. I've got hope for it, even though it is kind of awkward. We're going to go race 7 today. Belmont at the Big A, opening day here at Aqueduct. Allowance on the turf, 6 furlongs, $100,000 purse. So pretty salty group here. Magic, I'll go with you first on this one. Where are you leaning in this race?
Yeah, I'm going to try and beat the favorite here. I'm going to go with the second choice, number 3, Decanter, 92 on the morning line for Jorge Abreu, Flavian Pratt. Pratt was aboard last out at Saratoga in a race where she ran all right. She got third, beaten 3 lengths, but she passed plenty of horses, just couldn't catch Anna Karen. Then I can never say that freaking name of that horse, the winner of that race. But she does have a win back. She broke her maiden goal in 6 furlongs here back on April 15th, and she had Katie Davis aboard. And no offense to Miss Davis, but Flavian Pratt is an improvement. Yeah, I was gonna say when you talked about Belmont, the Big A being back for the fall, I'm like, yeah, and then it's the winter, it's Aqueduct, and then it's the spring, it's back to Belmont at the Big A because of all the construction going. This construction better be effing worth it. There's 10 months of Aqueduct.
Yeah, that's like the groundhog seeing its shadow. It's like,
Yeah.
oh no, six more weeks of winter. No, 10 months of Aqueduct. So anyway, you like this
Anyway,
one?
yeah,
You anything else?
three Decanter. I like Jorge Abreu with turf sprinters, and I like Flavian Pratt getting aboard.
All right, Papa Dude, where you like, or who you like in this one?
Oh, I kind of like the favorite. You know how I am. She's been very consistent. Don't look back at all is the name. Kind of like the name too. The other one I kind of like is the 6, Fleet Footed. I like that name, Fleet Footed. I love it. 3 wins and 6 starts. Had 1-2 straight. Got to throw out. If there was ever one you throw out, it's the last race. He finished 8th, just didn't run at all. Speed horse, didn't get up there where he belongs. So I like that horse as maybe an upset. I'll go with the favorite. They both have shown speed. They may run each other out and somebody comes and get them. But I'm going to go with Don't Look Back at all. And then the 6 is the dark horse to win this.
I like both those horses as well. Magic, I like your horse as well, but I didn't put any of them on top. I think this is a race you go deep in, but I thought that Fleet-Footed at 8-1. I think the horse will run a heck of a lot better. I went with the 5, Georgie Spirit. This is a horse that I think second off the layoff here is going to run a lot better. Getting back to 6 furlongs. I know it was 5.5 last time out. Not a huge difference between 5.5 and 6, but 6 furlongs. It's kind of where we've seen this horse run pretty well against Stakes Company and Allowance Company like this. I don't know. I just think Georgie Spirit, second off the layoff, getting Irad aboard for a barn he doesn't ride for a lot. I think that's a good sign that the Abreu barn has kind of sold Irad on the fact this horse is ready to run a pretty big race. I think the pace sets up front, a lot of speed. I think in this race, I think the 6, the 8, and the 1 all are kind of going to go. I think Georgie Spirit might be able to mow him down late. So at 5-1, I'll take a shot with the 5. Magic, did you think about the 5 at all?
Yeah, this was my second pick. Like I said, I was trying to beat the favorite here. So it's interesting. You could say Pratt chose the 3, the favorite of the 2 Abreu's, but you're getting Irad to ride this horse. Pratt rode Georgie Spirit last out. But also price wise, I know Mike Somich, if he was here, would say like the 5 was 5-2 last out, is now 5-1 with Irad hopping aboard, and the 3 was 11. The 3's never been lower than 8-1, and that was her career debut. She's 11-1 last out, now she's 9-2. From a price perspective, value perspective, the 5 is the way to go on this one.
Yeah, I think both the Abreu's look pretty solid in here, and I think, like I said, I don't have any problems with the 3 at all, and I don't really have any problems with the 1 at all that Papa Dude mentioned. So good race here. I'm going to try to just take a shot, get a little bit of a price there with this 5-1 shot. The number 5, we'll see what happens. All right, Magic. Now, let's do your best bet. What do you say?
Yeah, let's go back to the Thursday Night Football. Jalen Hurts over 44.5 rushing yards. I've seen on some spots it's already up to 45, 46, so I got in. I'm glad I got in on this when I did. Last week, Baker Mayfield had 8 carries versus the Vikings and didn't really seem to be bothered by their blitz, despite at the high rate that the Vikings were blitzing. So now you're going to put that football in Jalen Hurts' hands, and he only carried it 9 times last week, but I think 9 times against this Vikings defense, he can definitely average at least 5 yards a carry against them here. I've seen some projections saying he could get over 60 yards rush a year. I just think that's a spot where he's going to be able to rush it a whole heck of a lot with success. So give me Jalen Hurts over 44.5 rushing yards.
Papa Dude, what do you think about that one?
Oh, I love that. I'm just going to say this. If he doesn't get over that, I don't think they win. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Yeah, I definitely think this is a reasonable number. He should be able to get over that. Yeah.
He wasn't great last week. He wasn't. You know, they jumped up 16-0 on turnovers, and they got pretty well whipped after that by a New England team that's not bad. So they got out there with a win, and that's all you have to do in the NFL. So, yeah, I love this bet. This is a good one.
All right. Papa Dude approved here. Hurts over
Awesome.
44.5.
He
loves Jalen Hurts.
I love Jalen Hurts.
The number could be 244.5. He'd be like, yeah, I think he's going to get that. You know?
Jalen Hurts won me my fantasy league last year. So, yeah, I'm still a Jalen Hurts fan, too.
There you go.
Great competitor.
Yep.
Guy gives everything he's got.
I mentioned the NL wildcard race. We've talked about one game. Papa Dude and I are going to talk about a couple other ones because they're our best bets. I'll go first, Papa Dude. I'm going to go Diamondbacks plus 110 today, looking to avoid losing 3 in a row to the Mets. So the Mets have been tough on these Diamondbacks. Arizona won the first game of the series for losing the next 2. Today, Merrill Kelly on the mound for the Diamondbacks. If you've been paying attention to him, he has been fantastic lately. He's pitching great. The Diamondbacks really need this game. They're plus money because of how the Mets have beat them the last couple of days. Senga on the mound for the Mets, solid pitcher as well. That plays into the price of getting the Diamondbacks at a plus number. But I think Merrill Kelly shows up, pitches a really good game. I like the Diamondbacks at plus money. So I'm going to go Arizona plus 110 to get the job done and get a 4-game split in New York. All right, Papa Dude, go to yours now.
I think we're doing the same kind of logic. You know, we're playing the team that needs to win the most and playing the pitching, although the Mets pitcher is pretty good. But Arizona really needs that game. You're right.
Yep.
And we can say the same thing about the Marlins. They got a big win last night in Milwaukee. They got the pitching matchup today. Perez has been pitching very, very well. Hauser's gone the mound for the Brewers, not as well. So they've got the pitching matchup. They shut the Brewers out last night, which worries me a little bit. But to me, it's the best one I could find today. I thought it was pretty tough betting baseball today. But I couldn't do the college football game because I don't have any clue on that one. And then I wasn't confident on the NFL game. So this is the one I like the best. Miami, same boat as Arizona, need to win. Huge game for them tonight. I think the Brewers are going to win the Central. I think they've got it. So I like Miami a lot. They're playing much better. They're another team we kind of buried, and they've come back, and they're in the hunt. They're a pretty good ball club. So I think they're going to get it done today in Milwaukee.
Yep. I agree. I like that Miami pick as well. Milwaukee was a team I think we all underestimated because, boy, they turned it on second half of the year, played great. Got to give them a lot of credit for pretty much running away with that division now. I know the Cubs are still sort of within striking range, but I think the Brewers are going to wrap that thing up. So good pick, though. I think Miami comes out, plays well. I love Perez. I mean, we've talked about Perez on the show for months. I think he's a solid pitcher there in Miami. All right, guys. Let's run through the best bets because we got a lot to do. We got to get out of here, but we'll be back soon. We're going to go with I'm going to go Diamondbacks plus 110 for mine. Magic's going to go Hurts over 44.5 rushing yards. Papa Dude's going Marlins minus 113. Of course, 0-0 for this week. Up $648 for the year now. We were up a little bit last week. Pretty solid week. Hopefully, we can keep it rolling. All right, so we've got Dudes Who Bet Sports in 35 minutes. We've got Blinkers Off in an hour and 35 minutes. Magic, same time for Magic Mike as normal?
Yep, 5 Eastern, 4 Central, 2 Pacific. We're covering Woodbine's middle pick 5 because they put all the stakes races in the middle of the card. So 6 through 10 is what we're covering.
There you have it, folks. It's a busy day at racingdudes.com. I knew Magic was going to Woodbine. That's his favorite place. All right, guys, we're going to get out here for now, but we'll be back soon. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you here in a bit.